Yeah, I have to apologize for that. That was we are running on a different format tonight. Long story short, and then of course my mic gets muted right in the middle of a sentence. Long story CJ Carter running the show tonight. Sam and Britt both decided to head into Philly for WrestleMania. Shout out to them. Hope they're having a great time. Hope they enjoyed SmackDown. But it's me and Matthew Malik Wilson holding it down this week. What's up, Matthew?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing, man? How you doing?
I had a hell of a Tuesday night. I apologize for not being able to join you on NXT,
It's all
but
good, man. It's all good.
I'm feeling much better today, so I'm looking forward to tonight. Stand and Deliver, both nights of WrestleMania. Let's
Yes,
fucking go.
Let's go. Let's
Hell
go.
of a
Let's go.
SmackDown tonight to lead into WrestleMania. And in that main event spot, we had Jey Uso taking on his brother Solo Sikoa. The match, of course, ending in a disqualification because Jimmy Uso just had to get involved. And
Yeah.
then, as
Of
it
course.
seemed like they were ready to beat Jay down, Cody and Seth come out. They make the save. Cody again declaring that his story will end at WrestleMania. I thought the match itself was incredible. The spot afterwards was great. Cody's promo was fire. What do you think?
No, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a great way to lead into WrestleMania. I kind of expected a little bit more fireworks, but I'm guessing we got all of that on Monday with The Rock and Roman being there. So I'm guessing that was kind of the closeout to that side of the story. But it was good to see, you know what I'm saying, Jimmy sticking true. Like, he's always going to get disqualified. Jay's always going to get disqualified until he settles this with Jimmy. So I like them continuing that story.
I did think we were still gonna see Rock and Roman
I did too.
at some point in the show.
I did too. I did too. Let's go. Let's
Jared,
go. Let's go,
shout
Jared.
out,
Let's
ready
go.
for Mania?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Um, and so, what do you think is gonna happen at WrestleMania? Like, I know we're probably gonna talk more specific WrestleMania predictions at the end of the show, but
Right.
what do you think this does to set the tone for the main event?
Well, it's establishing chaos. That's for sure. If we're talking about night one of WrestleMania leading into night two, I'll get to my prediction later. But I think this just establishes what night one and night two are going to be. And it's going to be utter chaos in between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and the Bloodline. It's always been that way. I predicted it to be this way leading up to tonight. So it's no surprise to me. I just like that they're continuing that. They're staying consistent.
Yeah, big fan of that myself as well. So, would it be too much to ask for I had something and then I had it and then my mind just completely blanked.
It's all good.
So if nothing else to say about the main event segment, and
Well,
then
how do you feel? Like, what do you think this goes? Like, I'm gonna ask you. You ask me, so I'm gonna ask you. What's your prediction for where this leads up to?
it's hard to give that answer without talking
Giving the whole
about
answer,
the
right?
results of the main event. Yeah. Like, so,
Right.
if I can defer to when we have that talk later in the show.
Awesome.
All right. So, yeah, we will loop around back to the top of the show. And before the matches specifically, we had just an absolutely high quality video package to kick off the show. And the first thing that I thought was this could have been the standard for WWE 8 years ago. Like, there was the only thing seeming to hold them back was Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, like that's what fans have been saying this whole time watching this product for so long. Me being a huge fan of NXT when it first started, I was wondering when they would transition to things like this, because this isn't something that's necessarily new. This is new in scheme of it's a bigger scale because it's on main roster, so there's more for Triple H to work with. But we've seen this down in NXT, and I don't know if you caught the pre-show today earlier.
No, I didn't.
They're pushing this new era. Triple H was up there, he was talking to the fans, he was alluding to, we know how it felt in the Attitude Era where we didn't know what exactly we had, but we knew we had something special. He said, now with what we're doing, now this is the new era. And we're getting the same feeling like we had in the Attitude Era. So I feel like that video package brings to exactly what Triple H was lamented to earlier today.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that leads us into the first segment of the show, the KO show, with his guest and fellow WrestleMania US title challenger Randy Orton.
Yeah.
They spend the segment basically just shitting on Logan Paul, which,
Mm.
yeah, the crowd jumped in and also shit on Logan Paul. And
Yeah.
then Logan appears on the main screen and says, I'm not even in the arena. I'm over at the WrestleMania stage. And by the way, that stage is phenomenal, isn't it?
It's lit. The stage looks huge. As soon as I saw it, I was wondering like how it would look if like we're in the arena. I bet you if you had a seat all the way at the top, you would look at that entrance and damn, that's massive. So shout out to WWE for pulling all the stops on this entranceway. It looks super dope.
Absolutely. So yeah, Logan Paul says he's over there. So Randy and Kevin decide, yeah, we're just gonna head over there too,
Mhm. Yeah,
and they
it's on site.
cross the street, and then we see Grayson Waller and Austin Theory crawl out from under the ring,
Mhm.
which the way Corey Graves talked about it on commentary, um about they missed their cue, like I thought it was a weird choice because it almost kind of
Mhm.
feels like he's burying them before their big tag team match.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we see them give chase. There was a golf cart involved. What were your thoughts on it?
Honestly, the segment was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. But there was a moment there where I think Austin Theory and Grayson are at the arena looking for Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And I was like, damn, my God, Austin Theory, how far you fallen. Like, I don't know why the thought came to me, but it was like this is your job now. Like, you were a US champion before. You're being hired to do dirt work by the current
Former
US
Mr. Money in the
champion
Bank.
who has very little to let wrestling experience that you do, and you're his henchman. Man, it just made me feel bad for Austin Theory. I'm not, I'm not even gonna lie. What did you think about it, man?
I mean, I thought it was good for what it was. You know, like
Mm.
Kevin Owens is always going to be entertaining to me. Randy Orton at this stage in his career, I think, is just focused on having fun. So
Yeah.
he's doing whatever he wants.
Mm.
But no, I thought it was a decent enough segment, but
Mhm.
didn't really do anything to add
Mhm.
to me wanting to see this match.
Yeah.
There is there's more to this feud that we'll talk about later on, but
Mhm.
it will we'll just say that that is probably the segment that did it for me the most, but it was in fairness a part two.
Right. Okay.
So after that, we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal kicking off the show, and there were a few memorable spots. But honestly, is this even necessary?
Not really. I mean, the match didn't do anything for me. This lets you know, like this told me how important WWE thought this match was.
Just
Omos getting eliminated during commercial break.
but to be fair, the or no, not to be fair. And just to pile onto that, we didn't get picture in picture, so I had to
Right.
wait for the replay.
Right.
We come back from commercial break, and the first thing that I see is Omos kicking the shit out
Right.
of
beating,
Brutus Creed
beating the hell
on
out of the
the
Creed brothers, right? We don't know
yeah,
what
like what the
for.
fuck
Yeah.
exactly.
Did they go through the
And
middle
then
rope? Like, what's going on here? Is all hell
yeah,
breaking
like
loose?
who's
Like,
actually
yeah,
eliminated here?
yeah,
So hopefully when they jump to Netflix, that won't be a problem.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
ultimately, the match was won by Bronson Reed. He eliminated Ivar. Lastly, what
Mhm.
did you think of the finish? But also Akira Tozawa and Chad Gable making up the final four.
Hey, shout out to my man Tozawa because my boy Danny Ocean be shitting on Tozawa. Shout out to Tozawa, man. Shout out to Tozawa. I love him. I'm a big Tozawa fan. I thought the finish was great, man. They showed both of them, Bronson and Ivar, showcased their athleticism as big men, and it's showing like there's a new generation to that. So I'm super glad Bronson won, though. Let me just go ahead and get to that point because that's really what's on
Oh
my
yeah.
mind. I'm super happy that Bronson won, being let go by WWE the first time, having to take the independent scene route, and then succeeding in the independent scene route and being brought back. Usually, when you win this battle royal, there's a push for you in some type of title picture. There's usually a push for you coming. That sometimes is like the mini Royal Rumble in a sense. Like maybe it's not for a major title, but it's a push nonetheless. And I'm hoping that Bronson Reed winning this battle royal gives him that. And shout out to him for winning on speed the other day too. That match was a little fire. I don't know if you saw that.
Man, I have not watched Speed. I have no intention of watching
Yeah,
Speed, but
yeah.
yeah, shout out we're streaming on Twitter. Um
Yeah,
but
bury your speed, man.
yeah, but I mean, I've said the same thing before about, guys like Cesaro, guys like Braun Strowman, or not Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, guys like Jey Uso, Bray Wyatt,
Mhm,
Matt or no, that was Matt Hardy that won it that year, I think. But like guys that really it feels like they should be doing something
mhm,
and they're not. And
mhm.
I mean, it doesn't have a great track record of really elevating anybody.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't they give it to Bobby Lashley one year too? I thought that was like really
Yeah.
weird because
Well,
I
yeah,
like.
because he was originally supposed to face Bray Wyatt,
Mhm.
and then Wyatt ended up not being able to do
Compete, right,
WrestleMania, so they're like,
right,
"Here,
right,
we'll give
right.
you the
We'll give you
Andre."
this, right, right, right. I mean, I don't know, man. I just hope that it does mean something for him. He's a regular staple on Monday Night Raw. You see him every week. He's putting in the work. Every match that he has, I can't remember the last bad Bronson Reed match I saw where I was like, well, that was terrible. I can't remember the last time I've seen that. So they should actually reward him with something good. And I think it'll build up the battle royal for the future too, if they happen to do that with him.
Now, does it have to leave SmackDown and go back to WrestleMania to get any sort of elevation to its current status? Or
I,
do you think there's a way that they can keep it on SmackDown and still make it respectable?
I mean, it depends on the year because if you look at this WrestleMania's card, like it's stacked. It's hard for
Oh,
you to
yeah.
find. You know what I'm saying? Like in a WrestleMania with a card is stacked like this, I can understand it being on SmackDown, but I think a Battle Royal will be a great pre-show. I think it'll be great for the pre-show to put the Battle Royal on there, get the fans riled up early. I think it'd be great for them to do that. I don't mind it being on SmackDown, but I don't mind it being on SmackDown for WrestleManias like this. Let me say it that way.
But I mean, also at the same time, a stacked WrestleMania is always the best kind of WrestleMania.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I see it both ways. I do see it both ways. But I can understand why it's on SmackDown this year.
I don't see any pre-show matches listed right now,
I
but
think the
they may still announce something tomorrow.
the Rey Mysterio match. I don't know if that's on the card. I think that's a pre-show
It
match.
is.
I think it's a kickoff
No,
match.
it's definitely on the card, which we will talk about that
Okay.
update as
Okay.
well. Um, but some very just while we're still talking about the Andre Battle Royal itself,
Mhm.
a lot of great eliminations. I mean, right off the bell, you had Omos eliminating Kit Wilson, and then Elton Prince just
Jumping.
saying, "Nope, I'm out,"
I'm
and
good on this.
eliminates himself, and
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly run away. They are such great comedic characters, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, they are. They are. They are. They are. They are.
Yeah. But then, like literally 2 minutes later, you had uh sorry, just referencing my notes here and I lost the yeah, Garza and Berto. Brutal elimination. Like
Mhm,
the camera angle that they showed of Garza getting eliminated was so brutal. Like he
mhm,
essentially picked himself over the rope.
mhm.
Like that's probably gonna wind up on Botchamania this week. But um just to eliminate or just to attack the LWO, like they pulled them out of the ring. There was a beatdown.
Mhm,
The Creeds eliminated into Sheer, which
mhm.
I thought might be an indication of what the feud is going to be after WrestleMania.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. That's usually how they set up feuds after WrestleMania is having something like it's the typical Royal Rumble format. Like if there's a feud that you want to create, maybe for WrestleMania that you didn't necessarily know you were going to do, you do it in the Royal Rumble. So it's the same thing they did in the Battle Royal.
Yeah. And then we had our big meaty men slapping meat moment with Ivar and Otis and Bronson Reed colliding in the ring, and
Mhm.
I'm sure Big E was sitting proudly at home, or he's probably at WrestleMania.
He's
Let's
probably
not.
backstage. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure he's there.
You think he's going to come out for the ladder match if New Day wins?
I hope so, man. Because it would be great to see Biggie and get love, even though like I'm not like he's been mum on what the future of his wrestling career is basically we'll see. But if the New Day happen to win the belt, yeah, Big E definitely needs to be out there. I think it'll be a huge pop for him if he goes out there. I really do. But he deserves
Oh,
it. He really does.
absolutely.
Yeah, he deserves it. We
But
miss Big E.
I don't know if that would take away from New Day's moment though, because I mean we haven't seen Big E since he broke his neck.
Yeah, I don't think so because we got to remember they're a team, all of them. They never broke up. I mean, they got drafted to different shows. Big E got separate music and whatever, but they're still the New Day. So
True.
I'm sure with who Kofi Kingston is and Xavier Woods, who they are, I'm sure they would want their brother there with them for that moment. So I don't think it would take away from anything. I don't.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, like we talked about, or no, that was we see a brief segment where Logan Paul arrives back at the arena. Then they cut to a commercial. We come back from the commercial, and Final Testament cuts a promo, and I don't care. Like
Me
I
neither.
didn't even take any notes about what he was talking about. I literally just wrote "don't care." Holy fuck! Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm burnt
but
out of
I
yeah.
did I did note that he took claim for this becoming a must-see fight, and I just started laughing because I'm like,
Yeah.
I still don't want to see this fight.
There's no part of you that's like for me because it's WrestleMania. I'll start the like matches that I'm not necessarily interested in.
I I have
I'll
a
talk
sliver of
myself
investment
into it. Like,
I
is
have a
that not happening
sliver
with you?
of investment for everybody in this match except for Karrion Cross, and that includes Paul Ellering and Scarlett. Like, you have Paul Ellering to use, and he just stands there.
Yeah,
Why? He is
yeah.
so much more like credible than
Mhm,
Karrion Cross, and he's proven that he is the quintessential manager for the AOP. Whenever
mhm,
they had somebody else at the helm, they just weren't the best version of themselves. That
mhm,
NXT version of the AOP. And
mhm.
hopefully we see that on the main roster, but as long as they're sandbagged to Karrion Cross, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, so would you wanted them to come back just with Paul Ellering, no affiliation to Karen
Yeah.
Cross, none of that. You think that would have been the best thing for him?
I mean, when there was talk of AOP re-signing, I wasn't super invested because I the only good experience that I had with AOP was down in NXT. So their
True. Yeah.
main roster run um basically felt like a non-starter to me, so I wasn't excited to hear they were coming back, and
Mhm.
then to see them back with Paul Ellering is like, okay, I'm invested. Like, if they did break off and just be a tag team with Paul Ellering, they would dominate.
Yeah.
Under
Yeah.
a Triple H WWE, they would
Mhm.
dominate.
Mhm. So that's
But for
why I
some
kind of
reason,
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
like,
sorry. I'm sorry.
no, for some reason, they're just, so gung ho on getting Karrion Kross over for some reason and still failing.
Yeah, I just think with Karrion Cross, they kind of like, I don't know, maybe this is like the last chance for him. So I get why they're pushing that so tough. But I do kind of wish they would have came back. I was excited to hear they would come back just because we know this is Triple H's WWE now. You know what I'm saying? So I was excited seeing AOP back. Oh, okay, maybe we get to see them booked correctly now. The thing with Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business 2.0, it's gotten stale at this point. Like we've talked about this, like it's just I'm tired of seeing the same thing week after week after week after week with them. So I just want this to be over. But what I'm hoping what this is just a WrestleMania thing. Like, hey, we have something bigger planned for them. Let's just get past everything that we got going on WrestleMania, and then we'll see what this develops to later on down the line. I'm definitely giving them the benefit of the doubt of that so far. Hopefully they
Well,
don't.
and I mean, it's a Philadelphia street fight, so worst case scenario, we just see carnage and destruction.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, CJ. Like that's just
I
get
okay.
that's what
I
yeah, that's
talked
what I'm
myself
saying. Like,
into it.
doesn't that sound amazing? Just carnage. There's carnage everywhere. Ring barriers broken, tables broken, everything. Yes, yes, sir. We need that.
All right, fair enough. So we see Logan Paul come down to the ring afterwards and brag about outsmarting Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and how Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were going to ambush Orton and KO at the stage, and then
Mhm.
it cuts to them on the big screen, and they're just like, "Hey, we can't find them." And it's like, what do you mean you can't find them? Like they're there, they're there. Well, of course they weren't there. They were under the ring
Mhm,
waiting to ambush Logan Paul. And of course,
mhm.
that's exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
I this is what I was most looking forward to with this match is just Logan Paul getting his shit kicked in and hopefully losing the US title, but I'm not holding my breath. What about you?
Okay, so you previewed the match too. Uh,
Yeah.
as far as the
I well, I
segment,
mean, let's talk about the segment first.
well, it kind of it was a letdown for me. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm waiting for a I don't believe this Kevin Owens and Randy Orton thing being a team going into the match. I just don't. It's not believable to me. I was hoping that okay, this
What are
is
you talking about? These are two notoriously trustworthy men.
no, absolutely not. No, somebody got to turn on somebody. I don't know if that's why it hasn't happened because they both are pretty like experts at doing that. So they'll know that one of the other will probably see it coming, but I doubt that's what that is. It's just I was
It's
hoping
it.
that I was hoping that Randy would catch a stunner or KO would catch a RKO. I was hoping for that. They're
I
probably
mean,
saving that for Mania, but I
we'll
wanted that to
definitely
happen
save it
tonight.
for Mania, but I just look at it from the lens of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And right now, Logan Paul's the biggest douchebag in the WWE. So,
Yeah,
yeah, let's take his title.
yeah, I got that. I get that. But they already kicked his ass in the ring. That was already handled. Yeah, y'all got that at
Yeah, but now
WrestleMania.
they actually have to put the title on the line.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So we cut to the backstage area and we see the Dragon Lee was attacked, and Carlito was kneeling on top of him. He found him backstage. The biggest, most obvious um, plot device in storytelling, and we'll talk more about that later on. But I mean, what did you think of Dragon Lee getting taken out?
I loved it. I
Be
loved it.
like, what about it did you love?
I just the Dragon Lee and the LWO thing. We talked about this.
You're just over it.
I'm not here for it, man. I don't want Dragon Lee to go out like this. So I am wondering why they took him out the match, though. That did cross my mind. Like, is he hurt or?
I think it's probably just because they want to capitalize on Andrade's momentum. Like they've had a couple matches for him on SmackDown, but he hasn't really done anything yet. So
Mhm.
why would they uh why wouldn't they want to see what he can do on the big stage and build him some momentum?
Yeah, but now do you kind of see why I didn't want Dragon Lee affiliated with the LWO? It's because I didn't want that to happen. That's the reason why I didn't want him in the LWO.
And that's fair.
I didn't want any opportunity for him to get overshadowed or him to get written in and written out of a story real quick, just out of whim. Like, yo, I was excited for a Dragon Lee match at WrestleMania. I'm not gonna lie, I was. Now you put him in there a couple of weeks ago, and now he's not going to be in a match. So what's the point of you putting him in there? Like, I'm just not here for the Dragon Lee LWO thing. I think more of Dragon Lee than that. I think he deserves better than what just transpired on Friday. So I'm not glad this happened, but this shows the reason why I didn't want Dragon Lee affiliated with the LWO. It's not hate on Dragon Lee, guys. It's not. It's because I'm
No,
trying to look out for him.
he basically got used as cannon fodder to turn Carlito.
Right. Right. Yeah, I definitely caught that. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
caught the
no,
stick.
I totally get that. Like I was
Yeah.
super excited to see him on NXT and win the North
Mhm.
American title and defend it, and not so great to see him get brutalized by Obafemi, but it is what it is.
Well,
But
everybody's getting smoked by over, so I mean, everybody.
yeah, don't send anyone you want back.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh So after this segment, we had Elektra Lopez making her SmackDown in-ring debut against Zelina Vega, who had to basically go to the ring right after finding Dragon Lee.
Mhm.
So Vega comes out with Ray, and uh, Lopez comes out with Santos, Dominic Mysterio, and Andrade.
Mhm.
And so at the end of the match, Lopez was able to um, get the victory. Dom distracts the referee, gets a slap from Zelina Vega for his effort, and yank off the ring apron from his dad. And Lopez manages to hit her finisher on Zelina for the win. We see
Mhm.
Dom attack Ray after the match, and Andrade steps in and sides with Ray to fend off Santos and Dirty Dom. Uh, so what'd you think of the match? What'd you think of the segment after?
I actually didn't see most of the match. I came back in the room right in this segment after. I mean, I'm a heel guy, so I wanted to see Andrade beat Ray up. That's just just me personally.
That's fair.
I don't like anybody joining the LWO. I want it to end. Like it's just something with it. I don't know. But we get Andrade at WrestleMania, man. I mean, I can't be mad at it. But overall, it was an okay segment. It was all right. It wasn't the best.
Uh, Is it if you had to sacrifice Dragon Lee for anybody, you're glad it's Andrade?
Yeah, I guess we could say that. I guess we could say that. I understand the business thing, you know what I'm saying, the business side of it, of putting Andrade is a bigger star than Dragon Lee, so you would put him in there. So I do get it. So yeah, if it's going to be anybody, I mean, who else would they have put in there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. But moving on from there, we had Naomi and Bianca Belair reintroduce their WrestleMania tag team partner, Jade Cargill. So Naomi came out, Bianca came out, they went to the ring on their own, and
Mhm.
then Bianca Belair cut her promo about her fight against Damage Control and wanting to give up until Naomi came back and re-inspired her to end Damage Control once and for all.
Mhm.
And then they introduce Jade Cargill, and she gets her big superstar entrance, and obviously they are going to push her to the moon after
Mhm.
WrestleMania.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good segment. We got to hear from her on a mic for the first time. Um, she needs a little work. I expected a little bit more. I don't know. I just kind of, when I was watching it, I just kind of thought about. I can't wait for them to take the gloves off of her because we've seen Jade on the mic before. She's a little edgy, for lack of a better term. So I'm hoping that WWE lets her do that, and we get the bubblegum stuff in the beginning since she's just getting here and she's a face for right now. But overall, I didn't think the promo was that good from her for the first time being on the mic, but I expect it to get a lot better going forward.
How fast do you think it's gonna come around?
Uh, I mean, hopefully she beats up Bianca at WrestleMania, sets up a feud for later. Isn't Bianca on Raw?
Bianca is on Raw, but Jade is on. Wait, no, no,
Is
Bianca moved
Bianca?
back to SmackDown.
Bianca's back on SmackDown. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
she
you
got
can't.
drafted.
Okay, so you can't keep them away from each other yet. Oh, I don't
No,
know.
they are unless they decide they're gonna have another draft right after WrestleMania.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know because I'm thinking that's what is going to be in the future. That's the next huge match is probably Bianca versus Jay Cargill. So I don't know. They WWE has been slow playing it so far. They're doing it well. So it's another situation of hey, I'm gonna just trust you guys going forward. But just know, I watched that and I was like, that's not really the real Jay Cargill. I'm waiting to see who that is for me to make any judgments.
Now, Jade called them the Big Three. What do you
Mm.
make of that?
Mm,
Like, do you think that's what they're gonna be calling themselves going forward?
I hope I hope they can find a better name for that. I get it though, as a sports fan, I get the big three. I get what that means. Usually NBA teams have three superstars with them, so it was a dope reference to me. Um, it's just do we see Naomi on that level of like big three? Unless they're talking
She
about
is
unless they're
also a former multi-time women's champion, and yeah, I would put her on the same level as Bianca Belair. It's where Jade Cargill comes into the equation that I get not necessarily skittish. Like I don't shy away from putting
Mhm,
Jade Cargill in this story, but
mhm,
we have seen her entire career, literally. Like, yes, she was good in AEW, but she is still completely green. Like
mhm,
she did some training, but I think would have been better served going down to NXT,
mhm,
especially for the move to the CW. If they want to draw in viewership, even if it's just like 6 to 9 months kind of thing, like
mhm,
get her on the brand long enough to get them on settled into their new home on the CW. But
mhm,
and that's also not to say that I think she's going to flounder on the main roster, but
mhm,
it's a lot of pressure coming into this company with so much hype, so much pressure to be put on the same team as two former multi-time women's champions, one of them being a WrestleMania main eventer, to face off against uh the Soul, but hottest women's stable in the company right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's if you wanted to keep her safe and have her in a big match at WrestleMania, the perfect kind of situation to put her in with the with two former multi-time women world champions. It's the best situation kind of for her if you want to play it extremely safe. I know people like rumoring her to face Nia at WrestleMania. Oh my God, I'm so glad that didn't happen. But I think this is their way of protecting her for right now. Like, hey, bigger things are on the horizon for her. I would have liked to see her on an NXT too. I thought that's where she was going, so they could build her up there. I kind of think that would have been the right decision because they totally kept her off of TV. And that time while she was off of TV, we probably could have seen her in the NXT, and she could have been getting into work there. But she might be getting like really, really good training while she's off TV. We don't know exactly what they've been doing with her. So she might be ready for that limelight. We just protect her to get through this WrestleMania first.
But what does it do to her if we see the match and it's obvious that she's the weak link on her team, and that does that kill her momentum?
I mean, I think that would kill anybody's momentum, don't you think? I mean, she's in Philly too. Like, let's point this out. Like, she can't flop in Philly. Like, that's not.
Oh, sure. The crowd is going to be on her side
Oh,
regardless.
for real, she cannot flop in Philly. No, 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 no,
From
no.
a critical perspective. Like, if
No,
she is, if her
from
in-ring work is subpar compared to her tag team partners,
mhm.
is that going to cause more problems for her if she is already showing signs of not living up to that hype?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, because the crowd in Philly aren't going to let her do that. They're not just going to cheer for Jay. Like they don't just cheer for anybody. Philly fans are some of
Right.
the realest fans that you're going to have at an event. So if she doesn't live up to the expectations in this match,
Oh, I see.
you get what I'm trying to say. Like we're
Yeah.
going to see
No,
it in real
I
time.
heard
We're
it
going to
like a I heard it like a they're gonna cheer for her regardless.
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying Philly fans are going to keep it real with us of what they see in that ring. So they can't really afford for her to flop in that match because the effect of it is going to be immediate. We're going to see it in real time if she's not good in the ring. So her being in there with Naomi and Bianca is the best thing for her. Hopefully they give her the role where she just comes in and dominates for a few minutes if she's not ready. Like let me point that out too. I only want to see her do that if WWE feels that she's not ready. But if they're ready to take the gloves off, hopefully she's ready to prove us right about who we think she's going to be.
I mean, I have to imagine in Triple H's WWE that he wouldn't take this chance if she
Mm-mm.
wasn't ready. He's not gonna set her up to fail.
No, 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 no. I think that would look. I don't think Triple H wants that on his resume. Like the buildup that they've had for her has been massive. It will look really, really bad if they flopped on Jay Cargill.
God, that's like a Sin Cara 2.0. Can you imagine?
Oh, nah.
Okay, so moving on to our next segment, we got the official announcement that Dragon Lee was not medically cleared to compete at WrestleMania and would not be able to team with Rey Mysterio. So Andrade, because he was there and was ready to step in, is now going to be teaming with Rey against Santos Escobar and Dominic. Carlito runs in and is sharing the news that Dragon Lee was injured, and then he finds out that Andrade was already in the match. More telegraphing of the inevitable turn, but the segment overall I thought was meh, but I mean it served its purpose. What are your thoughts here?
Nah, I thought it was a great way to play in the seat with Carlito. That stare for a quick sec. It was quick too. It wasn't. He
Hmm.
didn't even stare at him long enough for you to be like, "Is there something there?" You kind of had to like really be paying attention. But Carlito gave him that look, like I'm your boy. Like we don't even know him, and you chose him to be in the match to protect you over me. Or that kind of shows me how you feel about me. So I mean, is Rey Mysterio really the heel here? Because I mean,
Santos is starting to make some sense.
uh, yeah, you think like Santos makes sense. Dom, what Dom says kind of makes sense because it's like, bro, I get Ray kind of seems like a yes man. Like, hey, you want to fight with me? Yeah, man, cool, let's go. Like, it's like, nah, you already got a team here. And at WrestleMania, you don't think Carlito want to be part of WrestleMania? Somebody that's been in your stable, had your back this whole time?
Oh
Nah.
yeah. Like I saw that sort of speculation going around that when Dragon Lee was announced as his partner and Carlito shot him that look, I was like, okay, well, I can see it, but I don't really think they're gonna go down that route.
Mhm,
Obviously, they're going down that route. So
mhm.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. I think Carlito just makes us such better and more natural heel than
Oh,
he
yeah,
does
for
a
sure.
face.
For sure, for sure. We get to see the apple more. Like, come on. We
Well,
need heels.
I don't know if spitting food on people is okay since COVID, but
He's done it a couple of times, so it might be
a
alright. He's done
couple
it on
times.
special occasions. It hasn't been, as frequent as we're
But
used to, but it's
it's
better when
WrestleMania,
it's yeah,
maybe.
it's better when he's a heel though. It's more disrespectful when he's a heel. So yeah, he needs to go back to that side.
For sure. So after that, we had another a tag team match with the New Catch Republic taking on A Town Down Under. And it was a great match from both teams. New Catch Republic got the win, but immediately, like as soon as the bell rang, the Judgment Day jumps over the barricades. They run in, they attack both teams,
Mhm.
and just reestablishing their dominance over the tag team division heading into this six-pack ladder match.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think of the match? What did you think of the segment after?
I actually didn't see the match. I thought of you though. I thought of you and I thought of Tyler because of the new Cats Republic. I can't say their name as well as you guys can, but I thought of
No
y'all.
quarter
But
catch crew.
no new Carter Cats crew. There we go. But hey, man, I mean, it's the Judgment Day just being dominant, man, letting you know what's up. Like, it's not sweet. You
Judgment Day
had
being Judgment
yeah,
Day.
Judgment Day being Judgment Day, man. That's what I thought about the segment at the end of the match. I did catch that, but that's just all that was. Hey, yo, they did say we're going to reestablish dominance at WrestleMania. It means a lot for us as a team and individually as well. We got the news. I don't know how recent it was, but I saw that now the ladder match is for both tag titles. One is going to hang, and both of them are going to hang. And if you snatch one, the match continues until the other. You get both sets. So hey, Judgment Day letting people know what's up. It's not going to be easy. That's basically what I got out of it.
I didn't see the official announcement though. Like I just saw that as speculation. Is
Okay,
that
so is it
because
still
the
speculation?
Well, and they did say during the match, or during this segment, and a few times throughout the night when they were hyping this match, like the match only ends when both sets of titles are retrieved.
Okay.
That does imply to me a split, but I don't think I had seen it written anywhere prior to tonight on any sort of WWE publication.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but maybe that's what's going on. Maybe if they said that like that, I mean, I don't know. I read it in a few places, so I don't know.
But
I didn't know
all
it wasn't
quoting the
official.
same source.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But I mean, like I thought it was a better choice to split the titles anyways.
Mm,
I just they've got a dense enough roster that they should be able to have separate shows, separate tag team divisions. They've managed to do the same thing with um the women's titles. Like they didn't keep them unified for long after Becky won them
mhm.
because the singles rosters on both shows are just too strong to have one champion.
Yeah. I think the tag team division is strong enough on both shows in order for you to have two different sets of titles. Plus, we need more title defenses anyway. There weren't a lot of title defenses with you having them unified like that. Kind of saves on the travel schedule. You don't have to go to both shows. So yeah, I think it's necessary too.
Yeah, for sure. So after that, we had another sort of Bailey damage control history promo, um, recapping their history and everything else. So as far as their match at WrestleMania, um, it's it feels like we've covered as much as we're gonna cover.
Yeah,
And this promo didn't really add anything new to the
no,
match,
no, I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
which has been really my biggest problem with WWE's promotion of this match is they this is the winner of the Royal Rumble cashing in her opportunity. This is one of the most emotionally driven stories that they've put out in the past year, if not ever,
Mhm.
on the women's side, and they have been promoting it like garbage. It took a back seat to Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch before Becky Lynch was even confirmed as the challenger.
Yeah, I mean, but people have been talking about this for a minute now. Bailey's not on any like posters in the beginning, and Bianca was on the one at the press conference, and people were like, "Well, why is Bailey not up there? Like, Bianca's not in the main event of anything. Like, why? Why is she at
Yeah.
this press conference? It should be Bailey." So Bailey hasn't gotten the respect that she deserves at WrestleMania, and it being for the women's championship and being the Royal Rumble winner. So I guess that's who the real sacrifice might be. If you think about it, like Bailey's the real sacrifice behind The Rock coming back. It might be is Bailey more than anybody else, in my opinion.
Well, and I was reading something the other day that CM Punk said he was likely going to be the main event of night one of WrestleMania versus Seth Rollins if he didn't get injured.
Mhm.
So I don't see Bailey losing that like that main event spot, but
Mhm.
it's still the premier match, one of the premier matches of your women's division. Like
Right,
it
right,
deserves a lot more respect than it's gotten.
right. Agree, man. I agree. I agree.
So after that, we had LA Knight taking to the ring, cutting a promo on AJ Styles, which sorry, the halls I was sucking on just broke up in my mouth, so I'm dealing with that. But so LA Knight comes out and then they air a graphic for the match, but they air the wrong graphic. They put the graphic up for Final Testament versus Lashley and the Prophets, and I'm like, just one more reason for me to hate this match. Like, you can't even just give me LA Knight and AJ Styles without reminding me that this street fight exists.
Pops up by accident. You still get up, get reminded. It's like PTSD. That was the Final Testament. Well, I guess it's working. If you put it that
But
way,
yeah,
it's working.
yeah,
I mean, they got real heat then. Hey, it's working. Hey, that's what it tells me, man. As much as we don't care, it's like, oh God, it's the Final Testament again.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, great
All
heel
right,
work by the
I'll give you that. Fair
WWE on
enough.
that. Yeah, great heel work. But
So, but yeah, talking about
yeah,
LA Knight, a lot of yeahs talking about his match with AJ Styles. At one point, he decided to start chewing on a piece of gum and then choked on it during the promo. God, like, what a train wreck! Like,
yo,
the promo itself was good up until
yeah,
that
yeah.
point, but then, like, he literally was talking about beating AJ Styles, and then, like, he chokes on his gum. And even
Hey,
Corey on commentary is like, and that's why you don't chew gum when cutting a promo. God. But then he comes back with comments like, I actually make you interesting. You know,
yeah,
like, so it just, AJ didn't make an appearance. It was just a very one sided segment for LA Knight. What did you think of it?
I mean, we got our LA Knight and AJ Styles action earlier on in the day. Apparently, I don't know if you've been paying attention to social media today, but
Yes. I didn't see the clip, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, they got into a scrap already. Kind of looked like a you don't know if you watch UFC, but it was like a UFC takedown. It was like kind of like a grappling fight, and there was no like punches to the face or anything like that. AJ Styles still ended up bloody somehow. I don't know how that happened. But hey, so they had their action, which is probably why LA Knight was in the ring and choked on his gum because he's been super emotional and over the top this whole time with AJ Styles. So it does kind of fit what's been going on and him choking on his gum during the promo. He's a super hothead in this feud. But yeah, I'm
I
super
love his help.
excited for the match, even still. Even if I wish AJ was there though. It was kind of weird to me that AJ Styles wasn't there after what we saw earlier. He could have appeared on cam somewhere or with the GM
Or
saying,
just have
"Hey,
another brawl.
Yeah,
Like,
like
we
do
know
something.
that's what we're gonna get at WrestleMania anyways, just give
Yeah,
us a preview.
yeah. But this LA Knight was a sacrifice too, because usually they get more TV time than that. LA Knight was
No.
there for a breeze, and then it was, hey, hit his music, get him out of here. So
Like, the coffee in his hand was still hot, he didn't even
yeah,
have a chance to drink it.
yeah, really, really quick promo from LA Knight. But yeah, the match, regardless, the match at WrestleMania in between them two should be fire.
100%.
Yeah.
So that brings us back to our main event, which means we have our jobber of the night. And of course, because I have no SmackDown type graphics to work with, here is the NXT graphic for our jobber of the night.
Yeah,
Shout out to Tyler on the NXT crew. I specifically I asked him directly if he could join in on this show so
yeah,
that we could have an NXT version of the SmackDown rewind.
it would have been lit.
And
Yeah,
but he's busy on Fridays. Wasn't able to make it work, which is fair, but
all good.
shout out
Salute,
Tyler.
Tyler. Salute, Tyler. Salute, salute, salute.
Jobber of the night. Who'd you pick?
If you had to guess,
If I had to guess,
who would it be? You know the answer.
I mean, I know the answer, but
He's been my selection before CJ.
oh god. Karrion Kross?
No, it's Dragon Lee. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do this. It's Dragon Lee, man. Like, yo, you got taken out of WrestleMania the night before WrestleMania, my guy. Like, nah, this is why I didn't want you in the LWO. I do have you have a co-star though. Like I said, Austin Theory, man. I felt so bad, man, just seeing you in an empty arena in WrestleMania being somebody's henchman after you were chosen by, Vacant. Can't say his name. I can, but I'm not. So chosen by Vacant to be the next top star. And man, those are my co-jobbers of the night, man. Austin Theory and Dragon Lee.
I was gonna pick Grayson Waller and Austin Theory for that reason of like they had Austin in particular, like I thought he was pushed too early because he was the Vince McMahon golden boy and he wasn't able to handle it, honestly. But like he picked up some momentum in Triple H's WWE, winning the US title at the sacrifice of his Money in the Bank briefcase. But, like he's really managed to find himself and whatever he thinks the best version of himself is going to be. So I was just bummed to see him and Grayson Waller, who I've been a huge fan of since he attacked Johnny Gargano in NXT.
Yeah.
Like he's just been killing it with this asshole persona, and I love it.
Yeah.
But you made a great point with Dragon Lee, and that kind of won me over. So my sole jobber of the night is Dragon Lee. It sucks that, and I mean, like, to not be medically cleared means there is no hope of even shoehorning him in on something like the Andre. One, because it's already happened, but two, because there's just nowhere for him to go. And he's not medically cleared. So even if there was somewhere to put him, sorry.
Yeah. See,
not even stand and deliver.
My heel persona is working, man. So I brought CJ over to my side. See, I saw this coming, CJ. I saw it. I was just like, watch.
We had that. We had that. Let the hate flow through you moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I just my dark side is starting to come out. But no, yeah. I don't like what they're doing with Dragon Lee, but I still like Dragon Lee.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too.
So that brings us now to our megastar.
My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry. Good question.
No. That's fine. We threw up the graphic. What's your question?
If Dragon Lee wins the Speed title, you going to support him?
I'm not even watching Speed. Like, it's a pointless show is the problem with Speed for me. Like, I don't see the value in 3-minute timed matches. Yes, it's a lot of action, but the toll it's going to take on their bodies having, because only so many guys on that roster are going to be able to keep up with that pace. They are going to
Mhm.
wind themselves down, and I see that lasting maybe 6 months to a year.
Damn, they
Like,
creating a
yeah,
title for
I
it, aren't
think
they?
there's I think there's gonna be a contractual obligation to fill a certain amount of time, but I don't see it
Mhm.
lasting very long.
Okay, 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 okay. I couldn't bring you over, man.
But I would support him in spirit.
Hey, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Let me hear
All
who
right,
you make a star
Megastar.
tonight is night, because I got to think about mine. I don't think anybody really separated themselves from me. So let me hear what you got.
All right. Well, my answer might surprise you. It's Cody Rhodes. Like, just the promo that he cut at the end of the show, for me, it solidifies that he is going to finish the story tomorrow night. And I'm going to get more into that when we talk about WrestleMania predictions, but that promo in and of itself is one in the few promos that he's cut lately where he hasn't been crying, that he ironic coming from me, but
Mhm,
it's that he is ready, and we can see that he's ready.
mhm,
There's never been a moment since he came back that the fans haven't been clamoring for more Cody Rhodes. And I know there's people online that are gonna say mean things and tell me I'm talking out of my ass, whatever. But
mhm.
it's it's his time.
Yeah.
And nothing against Roman Reigns,
Mhm,
because holy shit, you know, but Roman doesn't need the title. He has superseded the largest title in the company. He is above everybody.
mhm,
And that is hurting the legitimacy of the World Heavyweight Championship. So if they want that title to succeed on its own, even though Roman is nowhere near it, it doesn't mean anything if he's still going to treat it as a second place trophy, which is
yeah.
exactly what he's been saying to Seth Rollins.
Right, right,
And
right.
yes, they're feuding, so it makes sense. But he was saying that when the title was introduced. The fans were saying that when the title was introduced.
Mhm.
So of the for the good of more than just this one thing, Cody Rhodes has to win tomorrow or on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, hey, your mega star is our mega star tonight, man. I can't follow that. Let's get the predictions. No, I can't follow that. I agree with everything you said, man, about everything, because Cody is ready. That's the biggest point that I've been trying to make. Is that Cody is ready to take on whatever this new direction that the company says that they're going in. Cody is the guy to lead them there. Let Roman have his time off. I agree with you. Roman is like a godlike figure now. He doesn't need the title to put himself over anymore. Like that's done. Like
He could
that doesn't
headline the
get
Hall
it
of Fame next year, and I
right.
wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Like this, there's nothing for him to do more with the title. So go ahead and give that to Cody Rhodes. We see the crowds that he brings in. We hear the crowds everywhere that he goes, every show. Dark
Social
matches,
media.
they go crazy for him. Social media is going crazy for him. You want somebody to lead this new era into a new direction. Cody's the guy to do that. He's shown you that he's ready to do that. He's been crushing all interviews that I've seen. He's ready. He sounds like the champion. Go ahead and give him the belt.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our WrestleMania predictions.
Bet.
Night one, so the lineup has been announced. It is finalized. We know the match order. Let's start at the top. Rhea Ripley defending against Becky Lynch. Who you got, Matthew?
Because I see Judgment Day crumbling on WrestleMania, I am going to go with Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rhea is gonna have her hands full with Judgment Day business, and Becky is gonna be able to do more with the women's world title that doesn't clash with what's going on in the Judgment Day.
Right.
So Gunther defending against Sami Zayn. How do you think that's going to go? It's tough, right?
This one is tough, man, because I'm ready to see Gunther in the world title picture. I think it's time. And if Sammy's not going to get his world championship moment, this is kind of the best next thing, I would say, to beat a dominant champion like Gunther, who's the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time, who's built up that title unlike we've seen in years, brought it back to prestige. If they're going to give Sammy a moment, this would be the time. Go ahead and let him beat Gunther, and then you have plenty to do with Gunther in the world title picture. You have plenty to do with him on Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't matter what show you put him on. So yeah, I got Sami Zayn.
So do you see Chad Gable getting into the mix with Sami Zayn as champion?
Yeah,
Because I mean,
because
I'm
it's always
still
that you owe me one thing. It's always that you owe me one thing, and you're champ now, but don't remember who helped you get the championship. Yeah, that's definitely going to rear its ugly head sooner or later.
well, and that's part of why I am still on the fence about who I want to win, because I still think Chad Gable has proven he can carry the Intercontinental title,
Mhm.
and God, I hate being sick. And nothing against Sami Zayn, but I I wish it was Chad Gable versus Gunther at WrestleMania, and
Mhm.
I wish it was Chad Gable taking the title off Gunther. I think WrestleMania is the time to take the title off him.
Yeah,
And just because of how momentous the title reign has been. Same thing with Roman. But if not Sammy, or if not Chad Gable, then Sammy has to have a title run that is not going to just bury him further down in the end. Like, they've
yeah.
built him up to be a credible challenger for Gunther, and that's
Mhm.
great.
Mhm.
But if he turns around and loses it like 2 weeks later, then what does that do for him? Like, he can't
Yeah,
have another underdog story. It just
yeah,
doesn't work anymore.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, like, he loses that credibility he just gained, because it's like, well, you beat Gunther, but did you maybe luck? Like, was it a fluke?
Right. So you would rather have the Chad moment more than the Sammy moment is basically what you're saying.
Well, yes, but if they do give Sammy this moment, then they need to let him have it, and they need to let him run with it. They
Yeah,
can't just flip the switch and say, no, we're gonna give it to someone else.
yeah, because it's definitely a one or the other situation. Like it's either going to be Chad or it's going to be Sammy. Because if Sammy wins the title, then when Chad challenges it for it again, it's not going to have the same heat. You know what I'm saying? Because he's at a fever pitch right now. Unless they could find
Right.
something for Chad to do. So yeah, I get it though. I definitely get it. Yeah.
And I mean, like, it was Gunther that made his daughter cry, not
Right.
Sami Zayn.
Right.
So if he ends up coming out of WrestleMania with a beef with Sami Zayn, if he wins the Intercontinental title, then I don't see how it's about his kids anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see. I see.
So, six-pack ladder match for the undisputed tag team titles. The Judgment Day versus DIY, the Awesome Truth, the New Day, A Town Down Under, and New Catch Republic. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about whether or not they are going to split the tag titles. So let's say we plan for both situations. If
Mhm.
we if they have both sets of titles, whether it's one of the Raw belts and one of the SmackDown belts, or if they're hanging both belts distinctly separate from each other is still up in the air. So let's say we crown one undisputed winner, and then we crown one Raw and one SmackDown winner.
Okay. Okay. So I got a question for you.
Sure.
We just talked about where we wanted Grayson Allen and Austin Theory to be, correct?
hmm
Would you be mad if they won the titles?
No, but I'd be mad for the teams that I would pick ahead of them.
Okay. So
Like,
how
I would love to see them win for sure, but
mhm,
at the same time, I think there are different teams telling better stories, and they lost the momentum that they had for me. So uh, they got to get to the back of the line.
okay. Okay. Um I actually really don't know this match. I like it's hard to kind of like for me to pick. I guess if you wanted a major pop, you could go with Awesome Truth. You could go with them. Our Truth is nuclear right now too. A lot. We haven't talked about him a lot, but Our Truth is nuclear hot too right now. He's been hilarious this whole time. So maybe they could give them the belts. DIY definitely deserves the belts. They've always been an amazing tag team. But I really don't know this match. This is one of the matches where I'm just going to kind of sit back and enjoy the show with and just see what the result is. I don't know if there's going to be a surprise tag team in there. I haven't really heard any rumors or anything like that. I don't know if you have. You could put me on to something, but that's my
Well,
prediction for the match. It's a wait and see. I want to see what happens.
I mean, there was talk of the Motor City Machine Guns, now that they're free agents, making an appearance in this match, but I don't know if that's still on the table because there was talk of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory actually being removed from the match,
Mm-hmm.
in place of another team.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that ended up being the Guns or not, it feels like they are permanently in this match now. Will be competing at WrestleMania unless they decide to do a last minute injury angle, like they get attacked backstage and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we need someone to fill in Motor City, like, and
Yeah.
then but barring that, um if they keep the undisputed tag titles, I'm gonna say Awesome Truth. They could easily bounce between the brands and draw for both shows,
Mm-hmm.
if they keep the titles there. But if they split the Raw and SmackDown tag titles, I'd give Raw to DIY.
Mm-hmm.
They just because they're one of my favorite teams from NXT. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they were fighting and they were on their singles runs, they
Mm-hmm.
still had some of the best work in their careers down there.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. One of the best rivalries I've ever seen, for sure.
And now that Triple H is running the main roster, I want to see them get some more momentum, and hopefully
Mhm,
they get that after WrestleMania if they win the titles. On the SmackDown side, I would say probably the New Day winning the tag titles.
mhm.
Like not, it's because they're safe. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I see
never a
that,
bad
yeah.
thing. It's
Mhm,
never a bad thing to see the New Day in the tag team division,
mhm,
whether they're the champions or not.
mhm.
You're in for an entertaining time with Kofi and Xavier.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Battle of the Usos, Jay versus Jimmy. Who you got?
This one's tough too.
Well, I'll go first then because it
Go
wasn't
ahead.
as tough for me.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I got to give this one to Jay. He has been putting in the work the last year. He has gotten over so much, and giving him this achievement on the biggest stage of the year, you gotta give it to him. Yeet.
No yeet. You just saying that.
No yeet.
You know me in the chat. I say no yeet all the time. I'm not with the yeet.
You contrarian bastard.
No yeet. I'll be that. No yeet. No yeet. You saying that. I'm picking Jimmy Uso, and this is the reason why I'm really picking Jimmy Uso.
All right, change my mind.
We have a lot of faces predicted to win this WrestleMania. Not all of them can win, so maybe Jey Uso is not the one to win this match. We can't all have what we want, but I can because no yeet. I got Jimmy Uso winning this match. Big bro going son little bro.
I almost said Gunther for the Intercontinental title um because I didn't want Sammy's potential reign to get
Hmm.
cut short, or
Hmm.
like I would rather see Gunther's reign continue than Sammy get screwed over.
Okay.
So I'm not coming at it from a we've got a lot of faces winning
Yeah.
matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so I am coming at it from the angle of, yeah, if they do have a lot of faces winning, then the crowd's happy. So, you know, like I
Yeah.
think that if as long as they can tell the story in a good, excuse me, in a good way, that I think fans are going to be happy no matter what. But
Mhm.
I see Jay getting the win
Yeah. Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. No yeet. Just remember that.
Damage Control taking on Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill.
Eh, I
They got to give
mean,
it to Jade, right?
they got to. There's too much star power on the other side. I mean, unless, like, I don't think this. I don't think you could push this version of Damage Control any more than where it's at. So I don't really see the reason for them winning at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? So nah,
Yeah.
I got the big three. We're
Yeah,
giving
like
them that.
it feels like they have to make Jade's big debut worth something. So
Yeah,
she has to get the win in her first match. She is going to get the pin, and I think Dakota's going to eat the pin because she's the only non-champion on her team.
yeah, yeah. And she's technically the leader. So
So what message does that send for the future of Damage Control if they lose this match?
um the issue with Damage Control is you kind of have three people in there who don't really speak English like very good, or doesn't showcase that they speak English very good. Like Dakota isn't the best mouthpiece to, you know what I'm saying, to kind of keep that thing together. So I think after WrestleMania
But
they'll
they did have a promo with, Io, Dakota, or, Asuka and, Kairi, cutting
Mhm,
their promo in Japanese with subtitles a la Shinsuke. So,
mhm,
I don't think it's, uh really necessary to have Dakota as a mouthpiece. I think it's good for the group to have Dakota there because, she has history with EO and
mhm.
one of the founding members of the group. But I don't see her promo ability being something to hold the group back either.
Okay, okay. I don't think Damage Control is going to be something that's going to go forward. I don't. I think people are kind of tired. People have been tired of Damage Control for a minute now. I know we'll probably see like a new version with Bailey not there, but I'm just not interested in Damage Control enough to see what they would do with them in the future. I would rather them just go their separate ways, or Dakota to go her separate way, and those three could stay together. That's fine. I just don't see it going any further.
And that's totally fair. Rey Mysterio teaming with Andrade to take on Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And I hate the way the emphasis is put on dirty sometimes because then
Mhm.
it just sounds like he just doesn't take showers.
I
He's
mean,
like
luckily,
he's the smelly kid in class.
yeah, yeah. Luckily, we're all Eddie Guerrero fans, so we know we know exactly what they mean by Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I got Dom getting the win at WrestleMania. Man, he lost to his pops the last time they fought. Go ahead and give it to Dom. I Carlito's the wild card to me now. Like it's, I kind of expect Carlito to cost Ray the match and set up a few later on down the line. So I got Dom and Escobar winning the match.
Yeah, I was gonna make. I think that's absolutely the road that they're gonna go down, and I very much see Carlito costing them the win tomorrow night, and that brings us to the main event of night one: The Rock and Roman Reigns taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. Now, the stipulation, of course, if the Bloodline wins, it's Bloodline rules in the main event of night two, and if Cody and Seth win, it is 1-on-1, no interference.
The bloodline winning this match, and it's for a personal reason, is because I need Cody Rhodes to put everything to bed in that main event. I need everything to happen to Cody Rhodes and him win that title so we could just go, so it could just be the perfect ending. I need chaos in night two with bloodline rules. My theory has been that we're going to see all type of interferences from a whole bunch of different people, and that's the way they wrap up the story, and we see what the bloodline story is going forward from there. But for that reason, I have The Rock and Roman Reigns winning on night one.
That couldn't have said that better myself. I also think Bloodline is gonna win. So if the Bloodline loses on night one, do we think that it's going to telegraph that Cody's going to lose?
No,
Because if
no,
it's a one-on-one match, what that tells me is it's going to wind up the same thing as last year, where there is going to be interference when the ref is either down or distracted, and Cody is going to lose.
yeah, I don't believe for a second that the bloodline's not going to get involved in any way just because Cody and Seth win the match. Like,
Oh yeah,
I don't believe that at all.
you'd have to
So
have armed guards surrounding the ring.
yeah, like, for sure. It's just I would rather it just don't be last year's story. Like, if the bloodline's going to be involved, cool. Let it be allowed that they be involved. Don't run the same show that we seen last year, and then Cody just prevail by ducking the spike or something like that. Nah, no. He deserves better than that, in my opinion. He deserves better than that. He's been
Absolutely.
overcoming the odds. Have that moment where Cody Rhodes is overcoming all odds. Make it super believable. But if Cody and Seth win night one, there's so many variables that could go too. I heard Cody call Seth his friend tonight. Seth is not your friend, bro.
No,
It's
but
not your
he's
friend.
about the closest thing he's got to a friend right now.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, keep your friends close, your enemies closer, something to that effect.
Yep.
But that brings us to the end of night one, looking into night two, kicking off with. And before we move on from night one, I realized we have 7 matches in night one, and
Mhm.
4 of them are tag team matches.
Oh well. Hey, shout
I
out to
don't
tag
think
team
that's
division.
ever happened on a WrestleMania card where there's
I don't
more
think so
tag team
either.
matches than singles matches.
I don't think so either, but that speaks to what tag team wrestling is now. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. You've been saying tag team wrestling has been amazing. Didn't you say that WWE has the best tag team or NXT has the best tag team division? Hey, it
Hands down.
shows what they believe the future of WWE is going to be with that division, man. 4 tag team matches on one card is dope.
For sure. Now, there is still a tag team match on night two, but it's the
One you
one
don't
we
care about.
don't care about. So,
Have faith, CJ. I'm gonna message you while the match is going on to gauge your excitement during the match. Like, hey, where we're at, CJ? Like, you starting to get excited now. I hope the match is
Melt
fire.
about the ring. They're coming down the ramp.
I'm definitely gonna be
So,
in the chat during that match.
night one kicks off with the World Heavyweight title being defended. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. CM Punk is on commentary. What are your thoughts?
Man, I don't care about Drew's moment. I don't. I don't care about Drew's moment. I got Seth Rollins winning. I'm sorry. I got Seth Rollins winning this match. I just think even still, I get Drew's point, and I get he's gotten himself super over, but I kind of see the World Heavyweight Championship I kind of think Seth is still the best person to hold on to that title. So I'm going with Seth Rollins.
Would CM Punk be in that position? Like, if this was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, what do you think would be the outcome of that match?
Well, if it was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, I'm not sure which one of them would be the heel. So that's kind of a
Maybe there doesn't
question.
need to be a heel.
Well, then, if that case, I would probably give it to CM Punk. I would probably give it to CM Punk because I think. Would you rather see Drew McIntyre every week, or would you rather see CM Punk every week with that title?
That's actually what I was gonna ask you, because I'm
Because
like, okay, well, he doesn't have faith in Drew McIntyre over Seth Rollins, but he's got faith in CM Punk over Seth Rollins.
I do,
So
because
what does Drew McIntyre not have that? Well, obviously CM Punk's got the bigger star power, bigger story, bigger name recognition. But I mean, Drew McIntyre in his own right is a self-made man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what does he need to do to get your favor?
I mean, it's not that he doesn't have my favor. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the World Heavyweight Championship as kind of like a political thing because it's new, and I kind of still want to see Seth Rollins move that forward. I think Drew will still have his moment, maybe at like SummerSlam or something like that. Um, but actually, I can kind of see Drew win the title too, because is there really anybody else left for Seth Rollins to face for that title? So you would kind of have to lap Raw all over again too. So I mean, I can see it both ways. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there's nothing that I'm not saying Drew's not missing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and plus I'm a Seth Rollins fan too, so that I'm gonna just go ahead and say that Seth is probably top top two of my favorite wrestlers right now. So hey, it could be biased too. I just don't want the title to leave my boy. I mean, can it be that, CJ? Is that fine?
And that's fine. What I was gonna say was I see Seth winning. But then I also see Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank, which, if they do decide to have Drew win and still have Damian cash in Money in the Bank,
Mm,
does that um does that make uh a does that make for a good decision? Like, maybe that's what leads to the demise of the Judgment Day, is they get Drew McIntyre back on their tail because of Damian Priest, and that causes a leadership rift between Rhea and Damian,
yeah, because there's a story there, huh?
especially
Yeah,
if Rhea loses her title.
yeah. So that could go a whole bunch of ways, but I do want to see Damian Priest cash in now. Like, what do you think? Do you think he should cash in now? Like, when
I
is
do.
Money in the Bank, before or after SummerSlam?
Money in the Bank is in July, so it's first weekend in July. But I remember we were talking about this on it might have even been last week, but
Mhm.
because that contract only runs 365 days, it's not that he can even cash it in at Money in the Bank, because that's outside that 365-day window.
Okay. All right. So now would be kind of the time to pull the trigger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'm good with Priest cashing it in because it just
Oh
brings
yeah.
a level of what's next. So I'd rather have that than Seth or Drew walk out of WrestleMania with the title. I really do that. I'd rather have an unknown. So yeah, I'm fine with Damien cashing it in.
Which is the better scenario, him cashing in on Seth or Drew?
I like the Seth one just because this history with Seth cashing in on WrestleMania. So I think it would be like, I guess, karma
Just
in a
that
way.
irony biting
Yeah,
him in
just
the
the
ass.
irony, like, oh well, shit. Well, yeah, I guess it's my turn
Oh,
for
this is
this
how
to
it
happen.
feels.
Yeah, like, yeah, you know what I mean? I think Seth would respect that because at the same
Oh,
time,
absolutely.
there is that story with Damian trying to cash in on Seth Rollins while he's compromised, but failing to do so. many times. So that story is there too. So either Drew or Seth Rollins makes sense for him to cash the briefcase in on.
So we'll have to wait and see if that's actually what happens.
Yep.
The women's championship is on the line. Io Sky defending against Bailey. We kind of already alluded to. I certainly alluded to my choices earlier in the match in the night.
Mhm.
But what are your final thoughts on this?
Um, yeah, I guess give it to Bailey. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't publicize her enough through you could at least give her the title at WrestleMania, right? Like, kind of make it right. Like, because I mean, you should have pushed her a lot more these past few weeks than what you have, and you didn't do that. So I think it would be good for them to give her the title.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's been putting in the work. Damage
yeah,
Control got super over, and then people really started to see and appreciate Bailey more.
mhm,
And so yeah, give her flowers, give her the title.
yeah,
But just do better by her and by the title
yeah,
in future for bigger events.
yep, yep.
LA
Agreed.
Knight versus AJ Styles. What do you think?
I got LA Knight, man. I got LA Knight, man. He's super, super over. It's insane. Like, and I can't remember where I saw the interview from, but this is not even something that LA Knight like expected. Like, they gave him an opportunity like on a whim, and it just grew into this. I don't think Ray AJ Styles needs a win at WrestleMania either. So I don't think it'll do anything for him if he wins or if he loses. I'm interested to see this new entrance music he got or this new persona he's going to showcase. So that would be
Mhm.
dope to see. But I kind of think LA Knight needs this win more than AJ Styles. So I got LA Knight. Yeah, winning it.
You know, I it just hit me when you mentioned the new music, and I think that's why he wasn't part of the reason why he wasn't at SmackDown
Sick
because
of
they
music,
would have
yeah.
had to
They had
use
to use the
his
music.
current music, and
Right.
then literally 48 hours later, it's like, oh well, they just changed his music, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, I also see LA Knight getting the win. His momentum has just been incredible. I think even though they gave him that Universal title match too early,
Mhm,
it's not like it cut him off at the knees. Like he
mhm,
still landed in a semi decent spot,
mhm,
and he did get his rematch at this year's Royal Rumble, even though it was in a fatal 4-way. But
mhm,
it didn't take him out of the main event picture. Like he
mhm,
is still very much one of the hottest talents the company has right now.
mhm,
So I think if he does come out of WrestleMania with as much momentum, um, now here's the other thing: is Cody going to go to SmackDown if he wins the title?
I think Raw will be okay without him.
But Seth's there, and I mean the whole point of establishing that title was so that Raw would have its own world champion.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So, yeah, he would have to go to SmackDown then, right?
yeah,
You would have to.
do we see LA Knight challenging for the belt again soon
That's a little
if he
tough.
wins?
That's a little tough because I
Because I mean, I'm down to see the
mean, they
feud
could
with
turn.
LA, or like
Yeah,
I'm good to see his feud with AJ continue as well.
yeah, me
I
too.
think that's
Yeah,
top tier work from both of them.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, eventually, like they can't they can't deny the crowd like too long on the L. They don't want that to go. They don't want this momentum to drop either. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want that. So you're gonna have to strike with the iron is hot, whether that be for the United States. If you don't want to put him in the world championship, you always got the United States championship. You could put that on him for a while until you want to build him up into bringing him back into the title picture. I think Cody got some other people he could face before he gets to LA Knight. I think LA Knight is cooking with the face role right now. I don't want to put him in a situation where you kind of turn him heel until maybe this starts to get a little stale or whatever. I think people will still support him, regardless of what role he plays. But I'll kind of see LA Knight in the United States Championship picture until they figure out exactly what's a good way to insert him in the World Championship picture.
Maybe Royal Rumble next year.
Yeah.
We'll see how they book him.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our next match, Logan Paul defending the U.S. title. Ironically enough, talking about the U.S. title picture. Logan Paul defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I kind of mentioned earlier in the night, I do see Logan Paul retaining the U.S. title. They put too much stock in Logan Paul for him to fail.
Yeah.
And not that he would fail by having a short US title reign, but they want to make sure that they get it right the first time. So give him a solid title reign to start off his career with. And, like, he's still doing well. Like, his in-ring work is still fantastic.
Yeah.
So I don't see a problem with him holding on to the title. And I think that's most likely what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I have him retaining unless he has an arrangement he needs to do to where he needs to be gone for a little while. It's the only way I could kind of see him dropping the title. If that is the case, though, who would you have? If it's somebody not named Logan Paul, who would you think it would be? In my opinion, I think it would be Kevin Owens. I don't think Randy Orton needs that title at all. So I would say Kevin Owens, but who would you have?
No, I was going to pick Kevin as well. I've always thought Kevin is one of those guy that makes the belt sort of wrestlers. So putting the US title on him where he can just almost like a Gunther sort of tear, not to the same extent. Like, I'm not picturing a 2-year title reign for Kevin Owens, but I'm picturing just Kevin Owens being Kevin Owens and just also happens to have the United States Championship on his shoulder.
Right. Okay.
But again, I also see Logan Paul walking out the victor, whether it's Brass Knuckles or one of his crew getting involved. But if he does have
Cleveland,
to,
correct? So
the fan made poster of Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul also making the rounds, and if he does lose the U.S. title at some point between now and SummerSlam, they could happen. But if he does lose the championship at WrestleMania, is that going to be something that, like, Logan disappears for a bit and then comes back closer to SummerSlam?
Probably. I mean, because I know he said that he's all in WWE, but how many times have we heard this from part-time stars before? So
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I don't take too much credence into you being here every week. I just don't. So, I mean, if he does lose the title, I do see him being gone for a little while. I do.
So now we got to talk about the 6-man tag, the Philly Street Fight.
Have faith, CJ.
Final Testament versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I don't know that they've been officially called the Pride by WWE at any point. I know Bobby dropped it on Twitter, but like it was never referenced. But they're called the Pride on the WrestleMania Wikipedia page. So whatever, make that what you will. Okay. But yeah. What do you think?
I'm not calling them that. They're the Hurt Business 2.0 to me. That's what you are. I'm sorry.
Did you see their reunion at Wally Mania?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I guess Bobby Lashley took the stage. Cedric Shelton and MVP were there, and so they had a little reunion. Shout out to DJ Danny Ocean for throwing those pictures in the chat.
Yes, sir. I don't care who wins this match. I just want to see carnage. I don't care. If I had to pick, I would guess I'm picking the Hurt Business 2.0. I'm picking them. I mean, they've been getting their ass kicked this whole time. Like, you want to squash him at Mania for carrying Cross too? I think that's a little much. Then I'd be totally on your side. I'd be done with the Final Testament if this is the levels that we're going to get them over. Yeah, I'm straight. So yeah, give me Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and is B5 wrestling? She wrestling too?
No, it's just the men that are wrestling in this match.
Okay, all right.
If
She
if they
can
do, they're probably gonna get involved, BFAB and
probably.
Scarlet,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I also want to see Paul Ellering get involved, but that's just me. You know my thoughts on what the group does and their momentum.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I also see Lashley and the Profits going over, but at the same time, its match placement is perfect because it's right before the main event. Fans can save their energy, they don't have to give a shit. So it very well could be
That's true.
that
Yeah, that's a good point.
they give the match to Final Testament because then the fans still don't have to expend any energy cheering. They can just sit and boo, like just nonchalantly in their seat, like
Yeah.
boo. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
That brings us to the main event, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship on the line. Roman Reigns defending against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Uh,
Man, this really depends on the night one main event.
yeah, yeah. I have Cody winning, but this isn't my moment. This is your moment, CJ. Go ahead.
Is it my moment?
This is
Why is
your
it my
moment.
moment?
Your moment, CJ. Come on, man. It's your moment. Go ahead, man. Let us hear your predictions, brother, for the main event, man. Go ahead.
Man, WrestleMania 38, when Cody came back and the ovation that he got, it was something else. And even Vince McMahon had to pick up on, yeah, he is a guy. We have found someone that can carry the company.
Mhm,
And the idea of finishing the story, although it only really came up after the Royal Rumble, um, it's something that has been such a huge part of his WWE American Nightmare identity. It's as much a part of who he is as his neck tattoo. So for me, he has to finish the story in order to regain or hold on to any sense of credibility because this is his his second WWE championship match. WrestleMania 39 was the first world title match he ever had, and it was the main event of the biggest show of the year.
mhm,
So for him um to lose again, especially like when Rock came out to take the WrestleMania main event and the backlash that that moment got, that should have been WWE's wake up call that no, they can't not give Cody Rhodes this moment. They
mhm.
can't just they can't tease it and then not follow through. This
Right.
is too big. And I mean, Roman Reigns has had a hell of a run. I mean, as much as I've made comments of, he doesn't defend it every so often. It's not as impressive as it is on paper. No, it's impressive. I
Mhm,
mean, he still does um, everything a champion has needed to do.
mhm,
This, I think this is sort of the best possible time for the send off that Roman deserves. It is literally a passing of the torch moment that is once in a lifetime because you've built up Cody Rhodes to be the one to end the single greatest world title run in the last 40 years.
mhm,
So to lose it at WrestleMania for what would essentially be Roman's ninth and 10th, I think they said on Raw,
mhm,
his WrestleMania main events,
mhm,
breaking Hulk Hogan's record for most WrestleMania main events.
mhm.
He is the guy Like, I even had this thought when I was driving around earlier today. We didn't think there was going to be another John Cena.
Mhm.
Now there's going to be people saying there's not going to be another Roman Reigns. So that is the impact that he has had on the company
Mhm.
just during this reign. So
Mhm.
I think this is the best opportunity to pass that torch in a meaningful and respectful way for both guys. I don't think they can get another year out of Cody finishing the story without heavy involvement from The Rock, from Seth Rollins. I mean, um, the points that I point to and say the Bloodline story doesn't need the title anymore. It
Mhm.
needs something other than just Roman Reigns as champion and the Bloodline helps him keep the title.
Right,
So
right.
for that reason, the story needs to end and Cody needs to win the title.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I will say this though. As much as I want Cody to finish that story,
Wouldn't it
if,
just be so funny?
if Triple H comes to the ring and pedigrees Cody himself, I'm okay with it.
But only then.
Then that's it. It has to be Triple H. Nobody else. Nobody else.
Oh,
But
man.
if it's Triple H, I think I might be here for that. I could be alone in that. Triple H is my other favorite. That's why Seth Rollins is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, because Triple H is one of my goats. So, but if
Oh,
Triple H,
100%.
but if I know it's probably not gonna happen because Triple H can't fight him. But Triple H pedigrees him, which I think is a severe long shot. It's the only way I'm okay with it.
I would rather him not have a heart attack and die in the ring, but that's
It's one pedigree.
that's just
Hey,
me.
we can't get one pedigree. We can get one pedigree. We can get one pedigree.
I just think of Raw 30th anniversary, him standing in front of Gunther for like 5 seconds stare down and then just going, I'm
I'm
retired, man.
retired.
Like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm retired. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
man, we've got a busy weekend ahead of us here at Dirt Sheet
Mhm.
Radio. John, I apologize. I meant to grab those sponsor reads from you at some point, but I don't have them, so can't plug your stuff. What I can plug is the streaming that we've got over the weekend. We've got the live watch along with NXT Stand and Deliver. We are kicking off here live at noon to talk pre-show or talk during the Stand and Deliver pre-show, and then we're gonna have the Stand and Deliver watch along alongside the event. Now, WrestleMania Night 1, that stream kicks off 6 Eastern, I believe, because we're gonna have WrestleMania kicks off at 6 Eastern. Our Dirt Sheet Radio Rewind is going to be starting immediately after the main event. Same thing for night 2. As soon as that is over, we are going to be jumping in with our panel of experts. I wasn't too sure if experts was the right word, but panel of wrestling enthusiasts
Yeah,
are
I
going to
like
be
that.
here,
I like that.
myself included. Matthew, you going to be there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will be there.
Wonderful. I know Tyler's going to be joining us for Stand and Deliver tomorrow and both nights of WrestleMania as well. NXT represent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Go Home edition of WrestleMania Dirt Sheet Radio Rewind. We will see you tomorrow for Stand and Deliver in WrestleMania Night 1. Yeet.
No yeet.
I'll yeet all I want.